What's good with it? In the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you guys already know why. Over here we thought. Over here we thought, right? We get it in, but before we get it in, let's get to this intro. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, it went red on us. If you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that this Muslim-looking motherfucker stays kicking, right? Beard is on wild. I told you guys I'm not going to comb it till baby Emmanuel is found, and right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so I might just be nappy dugout forever. I'm very humbled by all your support. Thank you for your respect. My beard is too, because it's its own entity at this point. Now, have you ever had a sister-in-law? A baby's mama's sister? A torta that just doesn't like anything you do? One that complains all the time, you're taking my sister from me. Look, go be a whore by yourself. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, because I got a positive message. The message is, that's my girl now. She has my baby, right? My baby's mom's sister was a super torta, and she wasn't taking no and get on for an answer. And nor should she. We were living with her. You know what I mean? Hey, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Hey, pancakey. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, hey, although I've struggled in my lifetime, living with this chick was a true struggle. Because, see, prior to my baby's mama being with me, this is my very first baby mama, not the other ones, right? No disrespect if they watch this and get all mad and want to charge me for more child support, right? I'm talking about the one that my oldest daughter's mother, right? We were living with her sister. And in the beginning, me and her sister were hella cool. Her sister was fine, than a motherfucker, just like her. We were cool. I'm not going to lie, snuck a peek. Am I an asshole for that? I'm going to live on that. I stand and deliver by what I stand on, right? And I used to sneak a little peek. Now, that was one of the homies' old ladies at the time, so I didn't sneak too much of a peek. But hey, we're living in the same household. If she decides to get up for a glass of milk at 2 in the morning wearing nothing but calzones, for some rhyme or reason, I had to get up to take a piss. It just tend to happen like that periodically, daily. Anyways, it went from a point of being hella cool with each other and me admiring her and respecting her for letting us stay with her for a while to the hatred, right? More so on her side. Like, I never hated a bone in this woman's body. I was trying to put my bone in her body, right? If her sister acted stupid, she already knew all bets were off. And so I was jumping ship to the next one. And she used to flirt and whatever. We were cool. And then one day she decided she wanted to go out to the club because her old man went out and got all cracked out, which is what was happening. We're going to get to that. And she wanted to invite my old lady. Now, my lady was pregnant at the time, and I was like, no can do. You know what I'm saying? No can do. No siree. It's not going to happen. She decided she was going to go out anyways, behind my back. Damn, you stink. You should take a shower. Yeah, it has been a minute, right? I jumped in the shower. They did the power hour. They were gone. I'm calling like a soca, all sprung on my old lady, wondering where she's at. More concerned with my daughter that's in her stomach at the time than her, but at the same time, feeling played. So when they got back, I was dazed and confused. Dazed because I didn't know what I was going to be doing in that house with these two women that obviously didn't respect me. And I was blaming the sister for it. We got in a big argument. And of course, a man can't win and a man should not put hands. So a man did what a man could do. And I bounced, right? Went and chilled with the homies and went and got mine on, right? Because I'm sure she got hers on. I could tell specifically by the way her lips were swollen and the big old hickey on her neck. Now, that's neither here nor there. That should happen from time to time, periodically, daily, right? So I was suffering through an emotional wreck. I was wrecking. And the sister wanted the wreck to continue because all that she wanted was to go out and party, and she wanted her big sister with her because she was fine and she pulled all the guys. You always notice there's always the fine chick, and all the chicks want her to go to the club with them because she's the fine one. She's the one that's going to attract them in. And obviously, men, we're different. We're built different. Like, we're going to settle out of court for whatever we can get at the end. That's why you have guys waking up with mugres on their shoulders, like, God damn, cornflake juice all over her mouth and shit. I've been there. 400 and up. I've done that, unfortunately, right? It smelled worse than it looked. I'll tell you that much. But anyways, right? I digress. So this woman started hating on me. One thing I could respect about her, and later on in life, we're actually cool with each other. I actually tried to get at her, but that's different. We'll talk about that. She wasn't no punk. She wasn't the type to try to set you up and backdoor you like women do nowadays, and even men do to women. Cowards, right? She told me straight up, "You're getting got." What happens? We got into a big old argument when she went out with my old lady. They went out, and instead of taking it out on my old lady like I should, I was all pussy whipped. So I took it out on her sister. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to mess things up? At this time, I was on Soca status, straight up, all sprung and hooked. I keep it real. I admit it. I was hooked. She was older than me. This was my first chick that I had pregnant. I was like, damn, I'm winning, right? She had a little Lexus, and I just thought I was winning. Didn't have a place to fucking live, but we had a Lexus. So anyways, I'm talking my shit, and she says, you know what? I'll get my fucking baby daddy to beat your ass. All 4'6" of them? Are you kidding me? You're getting mini-me to fuck with me. This was a little short-ass homie. He was from the West. He was a norteño. He was the homeboy. I didn't want to take my aggression out on him, but who better? So I said, you can bring that motherfucker anytime you want. She said, I'm on the phone with him right now. He's going to kick your ass. And I could hear her telling him, hey, this fool's talking shit. He's in my pad. I'm about to kick him out. He's going to be here when you get here. And I'm like, are you going to kick me out or am I going to be here? Because I need to know for packing purposes, right? So I was saying, I'm going back to grandma's house, right? I'm going with Ricky and the roaches. Whooping, right? I'm out of here. Going with my tia. She's locked up anyways. I'll go there and tear shit up. She's like, nah, you're man. You're bad, right? Big bad norteño. You stay here. Chino's coming. Her old man was Chino from the West, right? Not Chino from Dead End and Merced, Chino from the West. This tall, right? So I was like, are you kidding me? This is my homeboy. I've been knowing him for years. I knew him before I met my old lady at the time and her. So I know what he's about. That motherfucker was on crack cocaine. There was no way in the history of life that he was going to do anything to me, but he was talking that shit on the phone. He didn't know I was right there listening. So he's getting my blood boiling. All right. One part Alizé, 2 parts kick your ass, right? So he pulls up. She's like, my old man's here. Now what? I immediately, on some gangster shit, rush outside. I'm like, what's up? Chino, right? And he's like, oh, what's up, fool? Right? They got anything in there to eat? I said, yeah, what's up? What's up with that shit you were talking? You know, I'm all gangster with it. You know, I'm mad. I'm still upset with my old lady. I can't do it. She's on the phone with the dude she was talking to the night before, unfortunately, right? But I'm like, what's up? And she's not even trying to stop it. That's cold-blooded, man. Her sister's over here making threats, trying to get me caught up. So he's like, hey, fool, he's winking. Play it off, right? This fool had a little butter knife with him. It looked like a butter knife. It was going to be everything but a knife because I was going to do bad things with him, to him, with it, right? So I'm like, nah, fuck that. Well, why are you winking? You got something in your eye? Like, I'm being serious. And he's like, no, play it off, right? I'm like, damn, you really are on crack. Your eyes are all fucked up. He's like, nah, fool. And then she comes out. She's like, kick his ass. He's like, oh, I said, man, I snatched him by his neck. I said, what happened? Give me that knife, motherfucker, right? That shit's for toast, not for me. And he's like, oh, and she was like, what? And I'm like, man, if you don't get out of here, Chino, I'll fuck you up, right? And he was like, I'm coming back, I'm coming back. She's like, no, he's right here. I said, man, your old man's a crackhead, man. Stop it. I know what you guys were doing in the bathroom the other night. I just didn't say nothing. I guess this is a situation of you can't beat him, join him. She had kicked him out. He was living with us, but we couldn't keep a telephone in the house. See, this is pre-telephones, like when everyone barely had the flip phone. No one had, and I'm talking about the old school one, right? This was not when everyone has a phone nowadays. This is way before. This is early 90s, 96, 97, right? So at the time, phones weren't like they are now. So I used to buy several house phones for her, and that fool would take him back to Kmart and get the money back. So he can get a dub, right? I mean, consistently, he'd be in the bathroom. Like, that's how he was in the bathroom. So I knew his ass couldn't do nothing to me. I don't even know why she thought he was going to do something to me. After she thought about it and I explained the situation to her, she double backed, right? She was like, I think you're right. That motherfucker never came back. In fact, I didn't see him for a few years. He didn't even come to his own daughter's baptismal. That motherfucker was gone, right? He's like, until that fool leaves, I'm not pulling up. She was like, well, then you ain't going to get no pussy. He was like, so be it. As long as I got crack, right? So now I'm there and she's like, you got to get out of my house. I ain't going nowhere. What are you going to do? If my baby's mama's right here, I'm going to be right here. I got to watch her because for some reason she walks differently and I need to know why. I knew why deep down in my heart, but I just didn't want to say it because this guy would get emotional. It's the type of person I was. So she's like, you know what? Fuck you then. I'm going to call my homeboys. They're 2 brothers. They're going to come over. They're going to smash you. All right. I was a little skeptical and a little apprehensive because at this point, she's calling 2 gentlemen to get me. Why you got to call 2? I can't have the one-on-one? I guess not. I guess she liked 2s. She was with 2 brothers at the same time. So 2 cousins. and even 2 minutes with me. But we'll get to that. So, anyways, I was like, all right, cool. Do what you got to do. I'm a little nervous. I ain't going to lie. I got me that little pico de gallo that fucking old boy had bought. You know, so sharpened them up a little bit. Now it's not a butter knife. It's about to be everything but your face knife. And as I'm kicking it, I hear a car pull up a couple hours later. And it sounds beat up. So I'm like, well, I can't beat them up, jump in their car and take off because they're out of fucking gas, right? Their flux capacitor ain't fluxing. So I'm like, fuck it. I pump myself up. Let me go, right? She's like, yeah, they're outside. Say something now. I grew up in a tight-knit neighborhood. I grew up in a neighborhood called Beechwood, right? It's on the outskirts of Merced. Half my life I was on the west side thugging and mean mugging, right? And we lived out there in Dead End. And then the other half was in this little section called Beechwood, little ghetto-ass section, right? It's a little bit better now, but it was beat up back then. And everybody knew everybody. We all went to school together. We all grew up. We knew who was gangster. We knew who was not. We knew who could fight. We knew who couldn't. I was on the couldn't crowd, right? We just knew everything. But at the same time, I was still dedicated to my craft, which was the expectations of a Norteño. So I was representing win or lose. You're supposed to, right? The show up is real. The pull up is real. The pull out, not necessary. So I got 4 daughters. So anyways, as I'm right there chilling, as soon as I go outside, I recognize these 2 dudes and I start laughing. I literally threw the knife like, man, I don't need that shit, right? I grew up with these guys. There's one brother named Oscar and another one named Fidel. We used to call them the Fidel twins, right? These dudes right here were not about that life. They also were involved. Their cousin was Chino. She was keeping it in the family, right? These guys were addicted to mierda, rock, right? So as I pull up, right, they see me. They're like, oh, what's up? And she's like, it's this motherfucker right here. This is my brother-in-law. He refuses to leave my house. He's a piece of shit. He's taking my sister from me. And I look at Fidel, and he's right there, and he looks all shocked because he knows what time it is. Like, these guys, I watched them get the hell beat out of them their whole lives, right? So he looks at me, and I said, just simply like this, on some gangster shit, I said, Fiddle, don't get caught up in the middle. He was like, his brother Oscar, who was a little bit more gangster, I said, what's up, Oscar? What's up, Carnal? What's up with it, man? Where you been at? I said, right here with this crazy-ass chicks. He's like, hey, straight up. He's like, hey, he tells Tina, hey, this is the homie right here. She's like, what? Yeah, this is the homie, man. I thought, well, you called us something to beat up some Southside or something. You know what I'm saying? Not saying we could, but I'm just saying we would if we should. And she was like, no, I told you guys. And he was like, man, we got to get up out of here, man. You got gas money. You told us you give us gas money. She had to break him off $5. So now she's in the negative. She's in the red zone. She didn't try to get me beat up twice. One of them stole her phone on the way out. And the other one, he had to borrow $5. So I'm laughing. Bitch, I'm going back in and watching the rest of the Maury show. I am not the father. Probably not. Come to find out I was. That didn't stop my baby mom from doing her thing. So anyways, I go back in the house and I can hear her screaming at them. And they're like, sorry, no can do. All right, we're out of here. Not that they couldn't jump me and probably beat me up. They could have, but they were homies. These were my friends. I grew up with them. Plus, they weren't all that. I mean, I wasn't all that. I don't proclaim to be, but they were really not all that. Right? I'm not tripping. So she comes back in the house. I said, hey, make me a cheese sandwich. Make me a grilled cheese sandwich, bitch. Shan't. I think I'm gangster. She's like, fuck you. Make your own food. She's not kicking me out now, but now she's like, you know what? I got you. I got a big homeboy from Salinas, right? I ain't going to lie. My antennas went up like a motherfucker. I'm thinking, Salinas? There's some gangsters out of Salinas. Now we're talking gangster shit here, right? We're not talking about Merced. We're talking about Salinas. And I started to inquire, who are you talking about? She goes, it doesn't matter. He's one of my exes from way back. He'll do whatever I say. Most men would, because she was bad like that. You know what I'm saying? Her shit was contaminated, but she was bad like that. One of those chicks that's hella fine until she opens her mouth and then she ruins it. Her personality ruins who she is. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I hated her, because I didn't. And shout out to you, girl. You always know I'm just one phone call away. But at the same time, that's just how it was. True stories. So as I'm kicking back, relaxing, like whatever, my baby's mom, we're getting into a lightweight argument. I'm like, man, who's this motherfucker on the phone with? She was, I'm talking to my mom, bitch. Your mom is incarcerated with no teeth. Hers all fell out that day she did heroin. I know, right? So we're arguing back and forth. And the other chicks, don't talk about my mom like that. I said, man, you don't even look the same. I don't even know if that is your mother. Her, I know, because they both have that big mascara. You know, cara de feo. But she was really pretty. I just used to talk shit. Anyway, she's like, I'm going to call this dude. He's coming tomorrow. I was like, damn, you sure have a lot of guys that got your back. I wonder why. And sure enough, early in the morning, she's waking me up. It's like 8 in the morning. I'm like, man, get up off me, right? I'm looking to make sure my baby mom hasn't snuck out again. Right? She's right there laying down. She's starting to show pregnant, so ain't no one want her unless you're a maniaco, which there was plenty of them. So as I'm sitting right there, she's like, hey, my homeboy's pulling up. I said, And I was a little nervous this time. I was like, damn, man, I should have got a hold of my tío, got me a cuete or something, been prepared because we got a monster from Salinas coming. And I don't know about you guys that are not from Northern California, but let me break it down. In Northern California, Salinas is looked at as our East LA. It's looked at as like there's a lot of history there when it comes to the Norteño movement and the organizations and all that. Like there's some gangsters up out of there. They're born with the red paño. You know, like in Green Bay, Wisconsin, how they're born with the fucking cheesehead? In Salas, they're born with the red paño. Nowadays, they're even born with the blue paño because you got Southsiders there that have been there for a long time, but they're getting thicker. That's another story, though, right? Not to say the Northerners not handling their business because they do consistently. Anyways, right? I'm pretty concerned because not only am I going to have to fight a homie because she's like, he's a big old Norteño, this, and that, right? So I'm praying to the gods up above, to the heavens above. I'm like, Amanda Perez, God, send me an angel. Help me. Send me on the tira. I need help too. And the car pulls up. Nice ass Escalade, hella clean. I'm like, oh man, she done got a baller with hands, right? And I could see this motherfucker from the back. He gets off the car and I'm looking out the window all scared and shit, like, damn, big motherfucker. I mean, big 400-pounder gets off the car. The whole Escalade went whoop, whoop. When he got off, I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble. This fool walks up to the door, boom, 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 boom. I ain't gonna lie. I immediately went to the back of the closet to see if there was any type of utensil that I could use. She's like, oh, don't run now, punk. Don't run now. I said, yeah, I'm fucking around here, chunky on the way out. Fuck it. I'm going to the living room. This fat motherfucker was drinking lemonade. That cool, refreshing drink. She had already served him lemonade. His fat ass was sitting there. She's already cooking, right? I walked out there, and God had blessed me. He looks at me. I look at him. He looks at me harder. I look at him closer. We both started busting and laughing. I was like, what's up, primo? It was my cousin Papis, right? My first cousin, my dad's sister's son, related to Super Norteño. My primo, right? From Salas. He's actually from like the Salinas, Merced, Monterey area, but he seaside, he bounces around, but he was living in Salas at the time. And she was like, you know him? He's like, yes, my little primo. I'm like, what's up, primo? Big old hug. You tell her to make me a sandwich too. And give me some lemonade. That cool, refreshing drink. Because I'm cool, right? So she struck out. So let me explain to you what happened. After that, she gave up. Trying to set me up and get me out the way. That wasn't going to work. She just broke it down. My baby's mom got right because she started to show a little bit more. Things started to progress. One day I wake up, right? I hear a sound like at 1 a.m. I'm like, what the fuck is that, right? Someone trying to break in? Or is it the roaches trying to break out? Because we lived in the ghetto on Susie Street in Winton, California. Facts, right? And I'm like, damn, what the hell's going on? And I hear sounds coming from her room, and it sounds like two bulls are in there just destroying each other. And I was like, ooh, wait, she must have brought a black man home. Something's going on in there, right? So I try to sleep. I can't, right? So I go into the living room and I'm watching Twilight Zone. And my baby's mom is making me some top ramen noodles because the struggle was real there. It was top ramen or eggs, or put eggs in the top ramen. Either way, that's what I was eating. And as I'm kicking back, this chick comes out with just her chonis on. And I had to take me a look. And she throws, remember the Aquanet hairspray cans? About that big? You remember? She throws that motherfucker on my lap, right on my pipa. Boom. Oh, shit, right? And she was like, I just had something that big in my mouth. And walks away. I'm like, what? I'm holding that motherfucker. Oh, right? And my tío comes out of the room. Now, let me explain to you how my tío ended up in the room and how I was proud of him and how I understood that, hey, we come from the same stock. So now I get it, the hairspray can. My tío, a couple of days before, someone had tried to break in. I had a 69 Impala. They had tried to break in and they fucked up the what do you call it? Not the hood, the bumper, or the back, right? Whatever the fuck it's called. You got a hood, then you got the back, right? I forget what it's called. I lost my train of thought, right? They try to mess it up, right? So it's all off tilt. And so I went to his house. He had a gang of fucking paisa chicks there. I've told that story. So he came to the chick's house to work on it. And as he's fixing it, she starts macking. He starts macking. Next thing you know, 1 a.m, he ends up, right? The trunk. Excuse me, it's the trunk. I sound stupid over here. The back, the cover, the trunk. So as I went to sleep thinking that they didn't even talk. I guess they did. They got to talking, and he came over that night and gave her he gave her the bushwhacker. And so as he's walking through the living room, I'm laughing, right? From that moment on, she ended up being real cool because she got hella sprung on my cousin. She ended up having a kid from him. Or from my uncle, excuse me. She ended up having a kid from him. That's a long story. Cousin, uncle. I would have to explain that in the near future. My family's different. But anyways, my uncle, He gets shot 2 weeks later. She gets pregnant by him. He gets shot 2 weeks later by a dude from Salinas. Facts, right? And a drug deal gone wrong, gangbanging shit. He was a bulldog. Crazy stories. But he ends up getting killed, and that was that. And after that, we ended up meeting her, becoming real close. In fact, my grandfather that passed a couple of years ago, she worked at the she became an EMS driver. What do you call it? The ambulances, and then she started working in an old folks home with around things. And my grandfather was in that home. She was around when he died. Look, I got a part 2 to this story because we became cool, but I didn't want to go around her. And there's a reason why I didn't. And I'm going to explain to you tomorrow in part 2 why I didn't want to go around her. If you guys are intrigued by this story, because it gets way better, man, stay tapped in and hit a 1, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. Thank you.